What would have happened if you crashed that aeroplane and killed yourself? Fine time I'd have had explaining that away, wouldn't I?
Took her up to 6,000 feet, did a few gentle turns, that's all. I took no chances.
Took no chances? You've never flown a machine before, you idiot.
Well, there's nothing much to it, is there? God, the fuss pilots make. Pair of wings sewn on a chap's tunic, you think it's endowed with some sort of godlike harmony of mind and muscle. Look, I am just fed up with sitting round here with nothing to do while you and Mr. Starling are flying your hearts out 7 or 8 hours a day.
Oh, I see. So you risked your life. You risked your life to relieve the monotony?
All right, I take your point, sir. If I had crashed that machine and killed myself, I apologize for doing what I thought was a good turn.
And for showing us any clod with 2 hands and a pair of feet can fly an aeroplane.
Well,
I know exactly how you feel. Days of the Observer are numbered, Richard.
Yes, sir. Well, as you brought the subject up, sir, I was wondering if you might consider
posting you to Blighty for training as a pilot?
Yes, sir.
Thought that might be behind all this.
I'm sure that with my flying experience as an observer, I get through pilot training like a knife.
Nothing tentative about it.
And this is just the time to send me back to Blighty, sir. Well, I mean, you've got to admit, I'm absolutely wasted in this new game of fighting behind deckers.
More than that, your liability.
Yes, sir.
As you showed this morning.
Flying your machine.
Does it might happen again, Richard?
Well, I suppose it could.
Well, if it does, let me remind you here and now that you are an officer in a position of trust and responsibility. If you insist on behaving like a churlish schoolboy, I shall have no hesitation in reporting you, and you will take the consequences.
Yes, sir. About sending me back to Blighty for pilot training. Machine gun emplacement?
Yes. Just outside this wood, the High Command officer considering making a push along this section of the front.
Well, they want it dealt with by tomorrow night.
That's right.
But it's an artillery job.
Yes, obviously. But not this time. They obviously don't want to signal their intended attack with an artillery barrage.
Attacking a machine gun post from the air while they're asking for the impossible.
Well, they're not asking. They're telling us.
Mr. Galion?
Mrs. Collins.
I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
I was down at the sty when Mr. Collins told me you were here. Oh, he would have liked to have talked you to himself, but well, he had to go down the fields.
I quite understand.
We've heard so much about you from Lorna. How kind you've been to Mrs. Farmer. Oh, she's had an awful time, poor woman.
Yes, indeed she has.
She must be so pleased now that Alan is safe and well. I haven't seen her since she heard the news.
Well, it's been a great relief to her.
You were glad to hear the news, I expect?
Yes, I was. Alan is a particularly good friend of mine.
Lorna was relieved. Yes, indeed.
I wonder whether perhaps I might leave a message for Miss Collins.
Of course.
I do know that she's working at the hospital this afternoon.
She leaves there at 6 o'clock.
Ah, well, there is something, well, it's just that I really would like to talk to her.
When do you think he'll come back? Alan.
Well,
Lorna said you thought he'd get leave.
Well, yes, he will, undoubtedly, but as I don't know the circumstances, I really can't say when it'll be.
Oh. Where are you? Lorna, we're in here.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Galion took us by surprise.
Yes, I really must apologise again
for... It's quite all right. It's very nice to meet you. Mr. Galion came here to leave a message for you, but you're here now.
I wonder perhaps whether you might like to come and have tea with me.
I don't finish till 6.
Mr. Galion knows that. I've already told him.
Well, the tea shop does stay open until 7:30, I think.
The one you went to before?
Yes.
Well, we mustn't keep Mr. Galion. I'm sure he wants to get back to his reserve squadron.
Yes, well, I'm very pleased to meet you again, Mr. Collins. Shall I wait for you at 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Very nice to meet you, Mr.
Not at all.
Galion.
Very good to meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, well,
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Might have seen Mr. Galion to his motor car. He's a very handsome young gentleman, isn't he? I wouldn't blame you at all if you were fond of him. He's very taken with you. That's plain to see.
I must put the cart away, Mum.
Are you fond of him?
Yes.
I see. Well, he says that Alan is sure to get leave. I wouldn't go rushing into things if I were you. I know that you and Alan had it in mind to get married on his next leave, and your father and I were both in agreement, but...
I can't marry Alan, Mum. I've changed my mind.
Don't fret. Everything is for the best. And Mr. Galion said that he'd like to talk to you this evening. I'm sure we can depend on him to do what's right.
I wonder how much leave he'll have. I mean, well, if he's thinking of getting married, like he said, it's 3 weeks the banns have to be read, don't they? Yeah. You don't think Lorna might have changed her mind or something, do you?
Tommy, you go home for your dinner today?
Aye, Alice is cooking. Grumbling about me eating over here in the middle of the day. 3 times she said last week. And you know what the price of food is?
Oh, bread and cheese and a slice of tart won't put me in the workhouse. Right, help us run back then.
Aye. Yeah, that's if I don't doze off in the chair, Mrs. Alice wouldn't wake me even if the war was to end. Tom. Alan.
Good to see you.
Well,
how are you?
What? We was wondering when you'd be back, and here you are. Oh, Mrs. will be tickled pink. She just asked me to put up into the kitchen.
Listen, don't say anything yet. Now, did she get a telegram?
Aye. But she knew you were safe before it arrived. Mr. Galion called and told her.
Oh, Charles?
Aye, he's been round here quite a bit lately. To see your mother, cheering her up like.
Oh, fancy that.
Aye.
Hey, how's she been then?
Oh, on top of the world since you found out you were safe.
Oh, no, before I mean, Tom. I thought I wasn't coming back.
Yeah, reported missing. That's all we knew.
Well, last letter I had, she said she was thinking of working in the smithy.
That's right, and that's just what she's done.
Oh, no, Tom.
Aye?
You shouldn't allow her to do that.
No.
That's not woman's work. It's too heavy for her.
I told her time and time again, but she wouldn't listen. Your mother's been a miracle. I'll tell you that and let me surf down. You won't stick it 5 minutes in there, I said. But she's been working as a striker, and as good as any man I've ever had in the past.
Hello, Mum.
Let me have a look at you. A bit more fat in you while you're here and you'll be fine.
I'm fine already. Just been back here.
Oh dear, what must I look like?
Wow, you look beautiful.
Do you hear that, Tom?
Aye, a smooth tongue for the ladies.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
Yeah, pricked it up in France, no doubt.
Hey, don't you go giving me a bad name, Tom. Just one woman I've been thinking about since I left here.
Well, we'd better make it 2 o'clock, missus. You want to talk.
Right,
Here, and by the by, Alan, we'll soon find out if you've forgotten how to make a set of shoes.
I ain't forgotten nothing.
Ah,
My hands might object a bit, though.
well, I never. Just look at that. Smooth as a baby's. French tongue and French hands to match. Well, we'll soon rough them up for you before
Hey,
you go.
get off, go on.
Yeah, I'll see you later, missus.
Right, Tom.
Show, Tom.
Well, standing about in here. Come on, let's go. Well, they never were ladies' hands in the first place. Oh, All women get burns cooking. I've had worse burns than that old stove in there.
I hear Charles has been to see you then, eh?
Yes, he has.
Cheering you up like, has he?
Yes, he's been very kind. Dinner's nearly ready.
Right.
Want anything washing?
No, thanks. It was all done before I left.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Going down to Collins' farm after, I think. Wait for Lorna to come home. Anyway, I got to see Mrs. Collins about the wedding arrangements.
I'll wash this. What time do you want it?
Oh, 4:30. I think I'll get Tom to give me a trim too if he's got a bit of time. Suppose I better look my best when I see her. Anyway, they get to be more critical when they're wives. So I've been told.
And the machine gun is about there.
On the edge of the wood, they said. It's damn near inside it.
7 machine gun bullets from that one burst.
Have to get much closer to have any chance at all of hitting it with a Lewis.
If you remember, Sir, HQ did tell us he was a deadly accurate gunner. Huh. Apparently the Tom is called him the 99 gunner. He scores 99 times out of 100.
Thank you, Sergeant Mills. Excuse me, I'll get in a bit closer, see what happens.
Well, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Right, stand by, Millie. Well, sir?
Don't ask.
Well, we could try bombing it. No. That time we were practicing with flour bags when Sergeant Hollyway was here. No one hit the target once, did they? Still, if we made enough runs at
Well, how many runs do we have to make? Make 100 runs, still not hit the target.
Yes, the weight of the bombs would reduce our speed.
99 are banging away at us.
If I might make a suggestion, sir.
We're not in need of suggestions, thank you, Mills.
Sorry, sir.
Well, what is it?
Well, sir, the machine gun's on the edge of the wood, sir. So if you were to make your run in from the opposite direction, that is, if you were to approach over the trees, well, they'd afford you protection until the last few seconds. Well, you'd be able to fly a lot low and have a much better chance of aiming your bombs.
Wait outside, Mills. We need peace and wish to consider.
Yes, sir.
It's worth a try.
Especially as we can't think of anything else.
Mills,
Yes, sir?
The bomb racks Corporal Roberts made for us.
Well, the ones you said were a complete waste of time and material.
The ones I said were a complete waste of time and material. I trust you can dispose of them.
Oh, no, sir. I believe they've been adapted for some quite extraordinary purpose in the sergeant's mess kitchen.
And well, my apologies to the cook. And I want it fitted to my machine.
May take some time,
Excuse
sir.
me, I realise that. That's why he's got till dawn tomorrow to get it done. I'm going to bed.
You didn't know when you'd be coming home, of course.
Oh, she'll be surprised to see me then.
Yes, she will be.
How is she?
She's very well, thank you. You're looking rather...
Oh, yes, well, I haven't been too well lately. But nothing that a few days in Beckett Hill won't put to rights. How is Mr. Collins?
Working all hours?
As usually.
Yes.
Yes, well, I know Lorna doesn't finish work till 6, but I thought I'd come along because I'd like to have a talk. Well, as you know, Lorna and I talked about getting wed on my next leave. Well, this
She's
leave
not
now.
coming home straight away. She's going into Caxton.
Oh, what for? Work for the hospital, I expect.
I'm not sure.
Yes, I expect so.
Yes.
Well, I'll call back later then.
She didn't say what time she'd be coming home.
Oh.
It's a shame, really, because we've just become very good friends.
Ethel, you mean?
No, Ethel's the other nurse.
Ah, you don't mean Ethel, you mean Mary.
Yes, Mary Perkins.
Mary Perkins. Why is she leaving the hospital? No, where is she going to?
Well, she's going to France. Would you like some more tea?
Thank you. You're a brave little girl.
She doesn't seem it. She's a very quiet little thing, really.
Hope she realises what it's really like her.
Yes, I shall miss her. You said you wanted to meet so that we could talk about Alan.
Oh, yes, Alan. Is she pretty?
Pretty.
Ethel. Or do I mean Mary Perkins?
You're not? Have you had a few drinks before you came to meet me?
Well, it would do from fast, perhaps. That's all. Sugar? Do you mind?
No, of course not. Why should I?
Now, why aren't all girls as understanding as you are? Now then, what were we going to talk about? Oh, yes, Alan. Well, would you like to begin?
Well, it was you who wanted us to meet.
Was it? Oh, yes, it was, wasn't it? Well, I suppose I should begin, really. Well, it looks as though I shan't be here when Alan arrives home.
She'll be here.
No, I saw my commanding officer last night, and they're posting me back to France.
When will you be leaving?
Well, I don't know. It hasn't been settled yet, but soon, according to the CEO.
Did your commanding officer tell you you'd been posted back to France? Or did you ask him to be posted?
What's the difference?
You did ask then?
Yes, I did.
You said you loved me.
Not going to make a fuss, are you?
You meant it.
Well, I might have done at the time, yes.
You still do.
Alan's coming home, and I'm bowing out, and that's all there is to it.
What you think is the right thing to do, is that it?
I'm simply sticking to the principle of first come, first served, that's all. Sorry if it offends you. To put it another way, I'm simply not prepared to stand up and fight for your hand. I'm simply not the sort. I'm a coward by nature.
She'll never believe that.
Well, I have to believe it, because I've been going from one back door to the next.
I don't understand you.
I joined the flying corps because I thought the flying would get me out of the fighting, back door number 1. My nerve goes over in France, so they send me back to England as an instructor. Back door number 2, back door number 3 I've explained. My posting back to France. Hun hath no fury like the blacksmith scorned, or something like that.
You've tried very hard, Charles. But I'm afraid you haven't succeeded.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to make me think badly of you.
I have thought it over very carefully. I know I've made a mess of pretending that I don't care for you, but nonetheless my decision's still unchanged. Because whatever we both feel, At this moment, I know Eleanor's right for you. I think I should take you home.
Turnip field, and I be out of the rain. He spies I, and I spies he. It's called I and a lawyer. But if I catch that blackbird, I'll set that book on fire. 40 years danger.
Shall I see you again?
Better not, I think.
This is goodbye, then?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me Charles was going to be down there tonight? Why'd you let me go down there, fully expecting to see her?
I didn't know Charles was going to be
But
down
you knew
there.
what was going on, didn't you?
Yes?
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Because Charles... Mr. Galion, he said...
Yes, he said what?
Well, when he came here to tell me that you were alive, he said... Oh, it's all very confusing now, and you've got me in a bit...
Just take your time, all right? Because I want to know everything, see?
My God, your father ought to be here now, hearing you talk to me like that.
Well, I'm sorry. But I've got to know. Can't you understand that? I mean, I go up there. I can't even face Lorna. After seeing her with him. I come home thinking of nothing but the girl. Thinking of nothing but marrying her. The girl I love! Damn her. As for him... Well, I've always looked up to Charles. Even at the times when I most despised him. Jealousy, perhaps, I don't know. You know, he's always been the kind of bloke that I want to be like. Now this. What did he say to you?
I told him I was sorry.
You were sorry?
Yes.
For what?
Because Lorna and Charles, it was partly my fault.
Your fault?
Yes. When Charles was calling here, and I used to ask Lorna, well, it's very hard to explain this. It was, well, the three of us were clinging on to the hope that you weren't dead. Lorna was convinced that you weren't coming back, and she told me that in the end, and I began to think the same thing. So, when she and Charles went out together once or twice, and no harm in that, I'm sure. No, I'm sure of that now. But at the time, with all my worry over you, well, I had all these black thoughts. I even accused Lorna. Now, that was very wicked of me.
You were right.
No.
What did Charles say to you?
He said he said that everything would be all right. Between you and Lorna, he meant.
Well, that's good of him. Yeah, that's very good of him. What a nice chap. One thing is, it doesn't fit. Because I've just seen him up there kissing her.
Highly unwilling.
Well, you're not doing the job, I am. All you've got to do is wait by the aeroplane while I make a dash. Mills?
Sir?
You're a 100-yard dash man. Do you fancy running through half a mile of woodland? Throwing a few grenades at a machine gun post? No, not. Come on. Yes, sir.
Is that what he has in mind?
This is what comes of your middle-of-the-night keep-fit antics. 1915 Olympics with a pocket full of grenades.
No, I mean landing behind the lines.
Yes.
Well, what's your part in it, sir?
They also serve who only land and wait.
Sie sind aber ein ganz schön schlechter Pilot.
God grief, he's a general, isn't he?
Too good a catch to leave behind you, flying back.
Me?
That's what I said!
Yeah, but I'm not a pilot, am I? You said yourself that I couldn't... There's no time for problems. Let me deal with the machine gun.
It has to be done today. I want to make sure it is done.
Oh, for heaven's sake, it doesn't... Any man in the world can knob a grenade.
Don't argue, damn you. Just get on with it. Send Starling back for me. Go on. Switches off, petrol on.
Switch off. Petrol on.
Air closed. Suck in.
Do you speak English?
Enough to understand. I'm taking a grave risk.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, bon voyage.
Contact.
Contact! Tell Mr. Starling he's flying. He's to pick up Captain Triggers.
Mr. Starling, he's out on patrol.
Oh, God. We have arrived, sir.
Idiot!
Take charge of him, Sergeant.
What? Oh, yes, sir. Guard!
He's a very important prisoner. I'm going back for Captain Triggers.
Right, sir.
Good Lord, it's good to see you. When did you get home?
Sooner than anyone thought. Too soon for some, maybe. My apologies. Me, that is. No etiquette, no tact, no feeling for the right time or the right place.
I don't know what Lorna's told you.
She hasn't told me anything. I haven't even seen her. Oh, that is, except with you last night.
Oh, I see. You were...
Yes, waiting for her up the farm.
So, you're here for an explanation?
And I haven't given you time to think of one. Again, my apologies.
Don't try and be clever, Alan. Doesn't
I know
see.
that.
Why on earth you're feeling so sorry for yourself?
Now, you listen to me,
No, you
Charles.
shut up and listen to me. You're a very lucky chap marrying a girl like that.
The farmer's daughter, eh? Used to make mocking remarks about
Yes,
her.
I know. Well, I didn't know then, did I?
No, you do. All too well.
But just shut up and listen, will you?
You are losing your touch, Charles. Come to the farmer's daughters now, eh?
Look, Alan, stop clumping around that clumsy, country-booted fashion of yours, trying to jump to the wrong conclusions all the time.
One conclusion I can't jump to, isn't there?
You don't want an explanation from me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You thought I wasn't coming back from France?
I did think that, yes. Well, you know what it's like when chaps are reported missing.
You knew Lorna thought that too.
Lorna thought she was never going to see you again ever since you went back again off your last leave.
Oh, even easier for you, then. I was Alan's best friend. Let me comfort you.
You know me too well.
Yes, I do. As far as women are concerned, I do. I should be all too easy for someone like you.
Something you ought to know. Lorna was innocent. She still is.
Oh, I did come home too soon, then. Didn't you move fast enough, eh? You are losing your touch.
Just a moment, Sarge. Oh. Look, Alan, when you next talk to Lorna...
I've got nothing more to say to you.
Look, you heard her with that vicious tongue of yours, and I swear to God that
Yes, Charles, you're what?
Oh.
Now you get up! Get up!
Striking an officer. You know, if I reported this...
I just wish you would. I never want to see you again.
So it is a week of final farewells, isn't it? You know they're sending me back to France. Three guesses as to where they're sending me.
Lorna, it's Alan. He's in the kitchen. He wants to talk to you.
I'd rather not, Mum.
I couldn't tell him to go away. He did look so... Anyway, he must have heard you playing the piano. It was no use saying you weren't here. You must talk to him at least.
I don't know what to say to him.
Well, just listen to what he has to say to you then. It's only fair after all.
You mean now that there's no chance of Charles as a son-in-law, Alan's the next best thing, is that it?
I only want what's best for you.
Please don't come in with him, Mum.
Well, I was passing, so I thought we'd better have a talk. Well, now, I had a lot to say, and I can't think of anything. Perhaps we ought not to talk about you and Charles.
You went to see Charles today?
Yes, I did.
What did he tell you?
Well, I made a fool of myself, I suppose. The very thing I deliberately didn't want to do.
What did he tell you?
He didn't tell me anything. I said it for him. I accused him of taking advantage of the situation.
It wasn't like that.
Well, it's no surprise, really. I mean, I should have thought of it. Country booted. Must think I'm stupid not to realise that. He does have genuine feelings for you, doesn't he?
But you're right for me, that's what he said.
So he hands you back to me. Perfect gentleman. Can't really compete with that, can I?
First come, first served.
What?
Just something you said. I'm not sure I understand his thinking.
You meant that he should have told me how he felt? What about you? How do you feel about him? Well, you don't make as many mistakes as you used to.
Yes, I do. But I haven't had much time for practice. You don't look very well. You must have had an awful time.
Oh, no. It's just what my mum said. Seems to me she had a worse time of it than I did. Well, 2 weeks. 10 days, really. I'll count them day yesterday. So you're still wearing it?
Hello, Nigel.
It's all right. No, there's no chance. Not now. Well, not this leave, anyway.
File, please, Mills. Come in.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Well, it has been confirmed.
Yes. Yes, I thought you should see that.
The push along this section of the front postponed due to unforeseen...
Yes.
We needn't have bothered with the machine gun post.
No.
Thank you very much.
Well, at least we made a good catch.
Yes, I'll say it. I bet no one's captured a general before.
Sir?
Yes, Mills, what is it?
Well, it seems he wasn't quite as good a catch as we thought, sir.
Well, he was
What do you mean?
General, wasn't he?
Yes, but it appears he'd just been relieved of his command. Well, as a matter of fact, when you encountered him, he was on his way home to a desk job.
Oh, this wasn't his day, was it? Oh, well. Here.
Sir?
Yes.
I know we thought it wiser not to include my bit of flying in the report, sir.
Ah.
But I do feel that I have proved myself suitable for pilot training now.
Yes, indeed you have. That climbing tone of yours will thrill my resting hours for years to come.
Well, thank you. I mean,
But-
well, when do I get back to Blighty, sir?
Mills, you seem to have developed a gift for bearing bad tidings with an almost civil service understanding.
Bad tidings.
It's an order just received from the commander of our wings, I'm afraid, sir. Until further notice, no observers are to be sent home for training as pilots. Just go for a walk round the hangar, sir.
Never mind, Richard. Take a leaf out of my book. Think of when the war's over. Look back on all this and you think, what a wonderful time we had. I'm tired. Oh, well. Off I go. There's nothing like an Eindecker coming out of the sun to revive the urge to kill.
Well, Mrs. Collins, we don't see you up here very often these days.
No. Is Mrs. Farmer?
Well, no, she's gone out to Richard's farm, doing some oiling and greasing and one or two odd jobs of repairs, and it's the first time she's ever been on her own. Yeah, I'll manage, she says, and she packs the tools in the back of a bicycle and away she goes. Is there anything I could do for you?
It's Lorna. She's made up her mind.
She'll not marry Alan, eh?
They're asking for nurses to go over to France. Well, I've pleaded with her not to go, but she's made up her mind.
Dinner's nearly ready.
The way you're feeding me up, I soon shan't be able to fit in a cockpit.
I still think you should have gone down to talk to her.
Well, everything's to the best. It's Mrs. Collins' favourite saying.
She doesn't want Lorna to go.
You didn't want me to go, remember?
I don't understand you. Seems as if you don't care about her going.
Yes, I do. I've been thinking of nothing else for the past few months than getting married to her. There it is. Anyway, I've been thinking. The way I behaved, well, I'm not sure I'm fit to be husband. Not much of a son, either. Things I said the other night. listen. Got 10 days left. I'm going to do the work in the smithy and you're going to take a rest, all right? No arguments?